AskReddit by Vinakila. How would you describe depression to someone who's never had it? It almost feels like a physical thing that's weighing down on you. Like being covered in a wet blanket of sadness, but there's no way to take it off. It's so heavy that you know you can't do anything about it, so you just let it suffocate you. And it makes everything you enjoy less impactful. Colors seem dim, food tastes bland. The song that meant the world to you now seems meaningless. Every positive thing is diminished. This is so accurate. It feels physically heavy. I remember feeling like my body weighed 1,000 pounds, and when I had to walk somewhere I moved so much slower than normal. Extreme apathy. Dream state. Everything is dull and heavy all at once. Apathy is the perfect word. Everything matters too much and nothing matters. Can't stop worrying about everything and am literally doing not one thing about it, then worrying that I'm not doing anything about it. For me it was fatigue that was so intense I would avoid even going to the bathroom for as long as possible just to stay in bed. The second thing was this dark awareness that there isn't really anything that I'm longing for that would make a difference. For example, when you have a flu or something and you lay in bed feeling like crap, you know that in a couple days you will feel better. When I was depressed, there was no relief to look forward to. No light at the end of the tunnel. I couldn't think of a single thing that would make me happy. Edit. I can't believe how many people have responded to this, and not because it isn't a common issue. I'm shocked I have worded my answer in a manner that has resonated with so many, and I hope you find your way to a better life just like I did. Those who have experienced the same despair are so eager to help that it is heartwarming to see all the effort and advice in the comments. Been there. I'm there now. Might be here again someday, but the point is I'm still here and I ain't letting the darkness win. It's not laziness. You feel so numb it's hard to even get out of bed to go to the toilet. You just feel numb all the time and get anger outbursts. When taking a shower and making your bed and brushing your teeth is just too hard. Life is passing by and you don't enjoy the movie. You see yourself moving, talking, but it is not you. You do not feel, but you remember that feelings exist. You can't sleep and you can't be awake. Windows and bridges are calling you and you have to put big effort not to follow this call. This explanation resonates with me the most. I know everyone is different, but this is close to how it feels for me. Like I'm just watching myself. I'm existing for the sake of it, following life on autopilot. Everything seems fake in a way, and there's a part of me that even questions the point of even wanting to feel happy and normal again. During my depressive episodes, the only thing that's ever kept me hanging on was the thought of how traumatizing it would be for everyone that cares about me if they found out I took my own life. So I carry on, and eventually it always gets better. Slowly but surely, I feel more and more human again, and the enjoyment of life returns for a while. I usually have episodes that last about 2-3 months every other year or so. But goddamn are they intense. Like being more bored than you can possibly imagine, but also not being able to imagine a single thing you actually want to do no matter how hard you try, including thinking and breathing. Life is a chore. Waking up, chore. Brushing your teeth, chore. Going to work, chore. Seeing family and friends, not a joyous and fun occasion, it's a chore. Your gas tank is always on empty. The smallest task can feel impossible. The mere thought makes you feel worse. But also your brain is telling you are a lazy pose for not doing the task, and no one will ever love you. The people who love you are delusional and will eventually figure out you're worthless and leave you. 1. Everything feels overwhelming. At my worst, something as simple as emptying the garbage 60 seconds at most felt like such an ordeal that I couldn't bring myself to do it. So I'd let it sit for weeks. 2. On a scale of 1-10, most people wake up at a 5. Good things bring them up. Bad things bring them down, but they are comfortably in that middle zone. When my depression was unchecked, my default state was 2. So even if something absolutely amazing happened, it still only brought me up to 3 or 4, and only temporarily. Once the high wore off, I was back in the gutter. 3. You lose interest in your hobbies. You lose the motivation needed to find new hobbies. You find yourself with a free evening, and you could spend the entire thing just spinning around in your office chair, staring at the ceiling, because you don't feel like doing anything. I'm very number 1, especially with dishes. It literally only takes me 5 minutes, then I wonder why on earth I avoid it until I have no clean utensils left. It's a nothingness. Someone from my old school killed herself and my mom said I can't imagine it, life, being so dark that suicide feels like the only option. I wanted to tell her that it's not always a darkness, for some it's just nothing and sadness all the time. Just clean apathy. And sometimes fear of getting in the car and having to drive somewhere alone. HMN. It's different for everyone. To me, I felt like I was in a black hole, a vast space of nothing but darkness. Sarah Silverman said it feels like being desperately homesick even though you're home. I'd agree, but modify it to feeling homesick for a home that doesn't exist. I often find myself saying I want to go home when I'm sitting on my couch. That pain is real. There's a Welsh word that describes this well in my opinion here. Driving to the grocery store and knowing you need to buy milk and bread and getting a great parking spot but not having the energy to go in. And by energy, it feels like there is a greater gravitational force on your body that is pulling you to the core of the earth. Every step feels heavier. Moving your body is harder. No one else is suffering from this gravity issue. They are all moving normally. This is painfully obvious. So you go home. Milk and bread can wait for another day. It's like every task is secretly 100 tasks in disguise. Showering isn't just going to shower. It's standing up, then turning on the water, then waiting, then checking the temperature, then adjusting the temperature, then getting in. It's like being in a dark forest and you have a flashlight that doesn't work. And you can make out the glimmer of light from other people in the distance wandering the forest with their flashlights working perfectly fine. And you try to hit your flashlight to make it work. Try changing the batteries to see if that's the problem. But you just can't get the flashlight to work, so you're left with seeing other people around you enjoying their surroundings with their flashlights, the trees, the rivers, the wildlife, while you're just left alone in the dark. But when you get close, you point your flashlight at their flashlight, so that the reflection makes it look like yours works. It's like seeing life through a black and white filter while constantly feeling exhausted with everything around you. It's the utter and complete lack of hope that eventually turns to apathy. Your body hurts, and you know there is nothing physically wrong with you. You are so tired, but sleep doesn't happen at all, or when it does it feels like you can't wake up, and at that point you don't even really want to. There is this nagging emptiness inside of you, kind of like hunger, but nothing can fill it up, and eventually, you go numb. If you do get sick, you don't bother going to a doctor because you hope whatever you have finally just gets worse and kills you in a way that you will feel guilt-free over. That's what it felt like for me, at least. Ugh, the desire that something finally takes you and you can die with dignity and not traumatizing everyone is so intense and real. Deleted. That whole blog should be required reading for mental health professionals. A persistent and heavy cloud that hangs over your mind and heart, even on sunny days. You know the arc in Dragon Ball Z where Goku trains in 100x gravity and every little movement is extremely difficult for him? It's exactly like that, but you're not Goku. You just lay on the floor for 6 months. Yeah, that one got me. You're not Goku. You're not strong or superpowered. You're not special or the main character, and no matter how much work you put in you will never be powerful. Just an insignificant little ant crawling around doing nothing important. I think this is the cause of all my depression. Tired of life and being too tired to improve it. Everything becomes a chore and you feel as though there's no hope and that your life is stagnant and will remain as shitty as it currently is. Isolation is where you feel safe and socializing becomes a chore, or you just avoid it completely. You live in your regrets and failures rather than living with them and learning from them. You let the smallest inconvenience of the day define you. Even if you cured cancer, you'll be thinking about how you came to work late that day and how much of an inconvenience you are. Like having your soul sucked right out of you then told to continue as normal despite being a shell. It's a weight. A weight that's with you from the moment you open your eyes, till the moment you close them. This weight also whispers in your ear about everything you've ever done wrong. Tells you everyone hates you, and you're worthless. My weight's mad too. It's terrible, and other than drugs and alcohol nothing helps lift it off you. I have BPD, ASP, and bipolar 2. To all that struggle with depression, my heart's with you. Having a constant liar in your head that's telling you you're shit, you're a burden, you're stressing people out, people are disappointed in you, etc etc. At least that's it for me. Sometimes less prevalent than other times. Therapy has helped me a lot with managing symptoms, but when I go into a depressive wave, that liar is shouting. Cilantro tastes like soap to me. I wonder what it actually tastes like. That's akin to how I wonder how people without depression feel. I'd never know. Yes, I'd know people didn't hate me, but the voice in my head was so certain. I'd even go, this is depression. My friends love me. This isn't rational and it wouldn't help. It was like looking at blue and going, be rational. It's red. I just couldn't see red no matter how hard I tried. You can't go on living like this. But you can't tell anyone because you don't want to waste their time. I want to get up. I want to do the things I need to do. But something is sitting on me. I'm almost frozen. It hurts even to move my eyes. Everything is irritating and overwhelming. Thank goodness for therapy, medicine, exercise, and weed. This is so apt. The voice in your head is just screaming at you to get up and do the things you need and even want to do, but you're almost paralyzed. Imagine that everything you eat just tastes like plain oatmeal. Your favorite foods taste like plain oatmeal. You try speaking new and it tastes like plain oatmeal. You even try someone you used to hate, just to see if it's different, oatmeal. For me it feels like helplessness. Knowing I should be doing things, but I just can't get myself in gear. I'll slowly make it to second and third gear. It gets better for a while and then bam. I'm back in neutral and the cycle starts all over again. Like wearing a suit made of bricks. It's like seeing a kid get ran over right in front of you and can't even muster a main response. You're dull to everything. Nothing gets you high, nothing gets you low. Living hurts. I get this. It literally hurt to breathe. Imagine the week after your uncle you like died. But it lasts months or years. And nothing bad had actually happened. Then you feel better for a few weeks, then back to how it was before. Nothing matters anymore. You know that you should try to do the things that make you happy, but you don't have the energy to even start them. You then feel like a failure because you can't even make yourself get off the couch and grab your Nintendo Switch out of your room. You constantly want to cry and have no idea why. Your thoughts are jumbled, and you can't control the bizarre ideas that pop into your head. You don't want to eat anything because you are perpetually nauseous. It's a truly awful disease that I wouldn't wish on anyone.